Hello and welcome back to the JCon podcast. I'm your host, Candace Farrell, and welcome back to the show. I told you guys I had a part 2 to episode 38, Divine Appointments, and I'm really looking forward to this testimony from Emmett because he is the one who crashed into Jonathan in the crazy car crash collision that happened, what you said, 7.5 years ago?
7.5 years ago.
Wow. So I want you guys to welcome Emmett to the JCon podcast and also Jonathan Newell, who you guys all know. So I am just going to have you share your side of the story because we've heard Jonathan's and just share your testimony with us.
With the crash.
The crash.
Okay.
Yes.
My testimony, I listened to Jonathan's testimony and he can remember what happened. Unfortunately, I have bits and pieces of before and after, but I'll run you through kind of what my memory is.
Yeah.
I was in a really distressed state. I had a relationship end a couple weeks prior. I was at an all-time bottom, spiritual bottom, emotional bottom. And I remember having a blowout fight with my family in Lompoc, and then a couple friends kicked me out of their house, and I was drinking heavily, taking whatever pills I had.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad lives across the freeway from Jonathan, and I remember being on my dad's front lawn in the middle of the night, looking through the windows. I think maybe I was waiting to die from the drugs and alcohol.
Wow.
But it wasn't happening. And so I got in my car, and I don't remember, I wish I could, if I was purposefully driving onto the wrong side of the freeway or if I just missed that on-ramp and got on that off-ramp, which is just a few yards away. But I did. And I have memories of being behind the wheel because I think of what people have told me, and memories have returned to me over a long period of time.
Wow.
But I was speeding down that highway in what would be the fast lane for the northbound traffic and hit Jonathan. And I remember not being in a car, but like you described, I remember having been bested in combat and someone was going to come finish the job.
Wow.
And he walked over to me and I was reaching for that gun, like he had mentioned, the gun that wasn't there. And then he came over and lights out.
Wow.
And then I had kind of 3 weeks of weird coma fever dreams, all reflective of having been in a car crash. In one dream, I was hanging upside down in a car, talking to a friend, Tyler, the friend who had happened to have kicked me out of his house before I got in my car that night. And I woke up and thought I had been in a gunfight initially. I didn't think that I had been in a car accident. I was sure I had been in a gunfight. I was sure that I had killed somebody. And I was immediately distressed emotionally upon waking when my mom told me, hey, you were in a car accident. You hit a guy. I remember asking, did I hurt anybody? And so my memories are sparse and distorted.
Yeah.
I think because I had a really severe head injury from that car wreck. My head hit the dashboard. My forehead is like 1/3 of it is titanium now. So it's a miracle that I can think, talk, walk, speak, do the things. But I wish I could remember what happened more. And I've done years of therapy trying to uncover memories, but eventually my most recent therapist told me it's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to remember this stuff. So I just have to live with the acceptance of having done that, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now you say you guys were strangers.
Correct.
Right. Okay. But your dad lived on the other side of the freeway.
Yeah. About 10 minutes away.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is your initial So, like, what does your heart tell you? Like you say, you don't know if you were driving on the wrong side of the road on purpose. Do you feel like you were?
So I'm conflicted because my emotions tell me that I was absolutely, even though I don't want to accept it, I was absolutely in a place to be so selfish to do something like that.
Yeah.
But I was wearing a seatbelt. So I think that my dad was a firefighter for a long time.
Yeah.
If I was trying to die in a car, I would take my seatbelt off. But I think that might be like my final layer of protection from avoiding the fact that I was that guy.
Yeah.
I was that guy who was selfish enough to get behind the wheel of a car, drive into people trying to die. So I don't fully know, but my heart tells me I was probably doing that on purpose. And regardless, I was doing it. So it almost doesn't matter whether or not my conscious activity was going for that. Like I was doing it. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Wow. You must have been hurting bad.
Real bad.
Yeah.
We were down bad.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Wow. So when you guys collided and Jonathan mentioned he put his hand on your head and he prayed for you. Take me through, did you meet God at all? Did you see anything? Like,
I wish I had a clear vision or memory, but what I had was what I think to be a long conversation with God. Almost deciding, I don't know who was deciding. Was it me? Was it him? Whether or not I was going to stay or go. And, you know, eventually I returned back to my body. I think that's the time that I was out. I think it was just a matter of seconds, but it felt like an eternity.
Wow.
And I was kind of being confronted with my life, with the resentments that I had, with things that were unsettling still, relationships with people, things I did, things I didn't do, regrets, whatever it might be, in this kind of dream-like state. You know, a dream, it doesn't always make sense when you're not dreaming anymore, but when you're dreaming, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
And so, yeah, I didn't, you know, shake hands with God or anything, but I believe that experience to be an experience with God, an experience that was, maybe it was me deciding whether or not I was going to stay and live this life or whether or not I was going to go. Maybe it was God deciding that. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you grow up knowing Jesus?
No, absolutely not. My mom, I love her. She's an anthropologist and she was kind of like a pick your own adventure mom. Like, you can go to church. I don't care which one it is. I'm not going to make you go. Neither of my parents were religious. I don't know if they were even spiritual. So I was against the idea of God, of church, of spirituality. I was sure that I was right up until that moment. And even afterwards, I still spent a long time in denial in my own will, in trying to do this by myself. So I didn't know any sort of spirituality growing up at all.
Yeah. And do you know God now?
I do.
Okay, so take me through that. What, how, what, where, and when?
Okay, so after, I should throw this out there. I'm an alcoholic, so, and a drug addict. So after my car accident, I was prescribed this crazy medication. I felt like I had a free pass to just sit on the couch and eat heroin pills for the rest of my life. And I was kind of okay with that. And so I spent another 6 years after the car wreck kind of trying to figure out in my own will how to beat my addiction, how to beat my alcoholism, how to be a happy, whole person. And eventually I ended up getting another DUI. 6 years
wow.
later, which shows me that like there are no consequences on earth that will allow me to correct my own trajectory. Like I can't do this without God.
Right. Yeah.
Which was displayed to me in full force when I got in another car accident in Santa Barbara in the late 2023.
Wow.
And I was in jail again with a second felony, thinking like, how did this happen to me? How did this happen? This wasn't what was supposed to happen. And I was just on my mom's couch a couple months later, looking at 2 years in prison until I got tired of being tired. And I finally asked for help, which was the first time I had ever asked for help.
Wow.
And I went to rehab in Los Angeles at a veterans rehab called the Domiciliary. And while I was there, we snuck out and met this group of people who were talking about their stories with alcohol and drugs and their experiences and their insanity. And they spoke about how God restored them to sanity. And for the first time, and I must preface this with, I believe Jonathan believes in God, but I was so ashamed and felt so much guilt that it closed me off to not only God, but to having a relationship with you.
Wow.
Because I couldn't bear what I had done. But I really looked at these people talking about their stories, and I believed that they believed. I believed they believed. So then I became willing to believe. And that was what cracked the door open for me.
Right.
And over the last couple years, through the willingness to believe and seeking, that's developed into a relationship with something that I was totally against.
Yeah.
But how can I be against something that doesn't exist? All of this, all of this stuff is revealed to me from the past, and it kind of makes it humorously obvious.
Wow.
In hindsight. But
wow.
Yeah. So now I have a relationship with God, and I don't wake up knowing God. I have to seek it every day.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly,
yeah.
you're already there. You're already, you got to seek. Yep. That's like, I didn't expect you to say that. It's like, that's the way. You got to seek. You got to seek him.
Yeah. I can easily become closed off to that.
Wow.
And get back into my own will.
Totally.
And all of a sudden I'm doing things I used to do, behaving in ways, and it's not taking a drink and it's not doing a drug, but it's on the way. And when I do those things, now I'm closed off to God again.
Yep.
And it's this order. So I try to stay in prayer and meditation and seeking God.
So good.
Yeah.
That's so good. Wow. Did you guys talk at all during those 6 years? Or you said that you felt like you couldn't even approach him because...
So, and hopefully you have something too on this. You broke my brain with the way you acted after I hit you with my car. You came to court with me. You pleaded my case to the judge. You forgave me right away. You didn't sue my family for millions of dollars. You blew all of our minds, and I didn't understand. I just didn't get it. Like, how could you be real? And I, having not taken responsibility for my actions, I had so much guilt and shame. Like I said, like I didn't know how to talk to you. I didn't know how to have a relationship with you. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't good enough. And so I would get an inkling to reach out now and then, and I kind of half-heartedly tried, but it wasn't until I got sober that I became willing to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a piece of this story that really you've only barely touched on, and it made perfect sense to me. Kind of part of why you were in the place you were in was because of some of the trauma and drama that you experienced in service to the country, right? So can you share with us a little bit about your experience in the war zone?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I went to Iraq in 2015 to fight ISIS.
Oh, wow.
And my infantry unit deployed to the Al-Anbar province to advise and assist the Iraqi army on the front line of the ISIS fight. And it was, a Navy SEAL team was at our base. These weird CIA guys were there with backpacks full of money. I didn't really know what was going on, but we were getting shot at and bombed with these mortars. ISIS would put these crazy rigs together made of like old railroad tracks, doing like crazy math, and just they had us dialed, and they would shoot super accurate rockets at us, blowing up all our stuff. It's a miracle nobody died when I was there, like an actual miracle. It was like I said, comically, cartoonishly close, yet no one got really hit. And one of my jobs there was to search ambulances that would come in with Iraqi army casualties. So I would go out to this ambulance by myself in case it blew up. I would be the only one that got hit. Search the ambulance while there's like a burned or dying man in the back, a lot of gunshot wounds to the head, a lot of full body burns from explosions, and they're, moaning their last breaths sometimes. And then I have to, once I'm done searching and taking the weapons of the drivers and stuff, I call it in to the base, and the medical staff on base either they determine whether or not we can help them. Do we have enough blood on hand? Can we even do this? And sometimes I have to turn them away. And they don't understand. These men are taking it really personally because it's their friend in the back, and I'm the guy telling them, you can't come in, you got to go figure it out. Where else are they going to go figure it out? The guy's going to die. So that at the time I didn't really process, but when I got home, I also didn't process it. I drank about it. And when I'm drinking, I don't feel. And so I just, it just started a chain reaction of me not processing my emotions. And so I didn't know how to handle that kind of stuff. I was also in my mind, my ego wanted to be like a hero, and like really fight. I didn't get to shoot at these guys. They shot at me, but I didn't get to shoot at them. And so that was a big hit to my ego, which was also something I experienced shame about. And I would lie about it and try to be this person. And so when in reality, I was kind of like a glorified paramedic in a war zone. And not even that. I wasn't even doing what they do. I was just searching the guys. I wasn't really providing first aid. So it was a weird thing. I was kind of torn up about the fear that came with constantly being barraged by these rockets. I was torn up about the visuals that I saw, the emotions that I felt from these guys. And yeah, it was just, it kind of tore me up inside, and I didn't even know it. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, that's a lot of trauma for anybody. There's something I would say to people, like, I would be messed up from that.
Oh, absolutely.
Emotionally, psychologically. I'd probably be self-medicating after something like that too, just to deal with it or to not deal with it, as the case may have been. So, and it sounds like God's grace and protection was on you guys, all of you guys out there, just as much as he's feeling that Holy Spirit wave. Yeah. So God's been there. And when you start to acknowledge him and realize that he's been in the middle of all of it from the get-go, it's very humbling. I recall weeping every morning with my cup of coffee for the first year after coming back from my prodigal years and really accepting God and seeking him out like you're talking about. And if we can get into that pattern of doing that first thing every morning, it really will transform us slowly into the man or woman that we were really intended to be, where we can be a blessing to people around us, not be focused on ourselves, but truly be anyway. So none of us is perfect, but for whatever reason, God had prepared my heart for our encounter.
Right.
Emmett and I have talked about possibly doing a book together I got this great title.
Yeah.
Men of Impact.
Men of Impact. That's so good.
Not that we've become that yet, but this opportunity and sharing the experience and being real about it. And this is so huge. Thank you for coming out and for just sharing your perspective, because you are owning your actions right now.
Right.
If you hadn't done before, I know it's been a layered process, because it doesn't happen overnight, unpacking anything this monumental. So anyway, the grace that God put on my heart for you, I was amazed. There was never a bit of anger. There was never a bit of retribution. And there was a really strong conviction not to go with the system and, and use the system and use the circumstances to benefit financially. That I knew just deep down was not the path that I was going to walk like that. And I can't explain that other than I had been back with the Lord long enough that he had transformed my heart to be able to look at things from outside of my own circumstances, and that's huge. And so as I got to know you and your mom and the rest of your family, as we got into the court hearings, it became just this wonderful adventure of meeting more real wonderful people, which is what you guys are, who you guys are. And we all have these battles and these, we're all flawed in different ways and have different strengths and different weaknesses. And anyway, I recognized early on that as much as I wanted to share the gospel with Emmett, he wasn't ready, as much as I, and so we have to get to that place of the end of ourselves before, and hopefully, somebody doesn't try to bulldoze God into our lives, because we put up walls and we don't want to be manipulated and coerced and convinced, And we were having a little dialogue about this on the way here this morning, where, our hearts have to be ready. And only God knows when a man or woman's heart is ready to hear and receive.
Absolutely. Because he decides on the time.
Yeah. So all of this effort from zealous believers to convince people, it really causes me to pause. And I think that there's a lot of unfortunate collateral damage that happens, and that actually pushes people away prematurely, and perhaps extends their time away from God instead of
bringing them close.
So another thing I said was, St. Francis has this great quote where he says, "Go and preach the gospel to all the creation, and if necessary, use words." And,
so true.
And so
true.
Because when we're full of love and the presence of God has kind of taken up residence in us, we become a light, right?
Yeah.
We become somebody who's smiling and at peace when there's chaos all around us,
right.
And it's not always like that. We have to work on that on a daily basis, like you talk about, but that is attractive. People see that peace and that in the midst of things that otherwise don't make sense, right? So this blowing of your minds that I didn't come after you with a pitchfork, that was the character of God that had been forged in me through other experiences. But I had to invite him into those places and let him do some deep work. And when I don't want to make this about me at all, but when I was really young, I was sexually defiled as like a 2.5-year-old. And one of the first things years later, now I'm 34 or something, one of the first things God had me do was forgive this man, this person. And there was such a breakthrough and this kind of waterfall of God's presence just piled into me in that moment of taking the biggest trauma of my life and putting it out there and lifting up that person who had caused a pretty massive offense. Anybody would acknowledge that as being up at the top of the offenses we could do.
Yeah. Wow.
And there was freedom that came with that forgiveness, you know?
Yeah.
And so I haven't shared that publicly before, but a lot of my close friends know of that history, and my family, of course. But, you know, and one can go back and look at these circumstances and just really fall in love with God over and over again for when we start to recognize his fingerprint on things, you know, his grace. Like, where was he in the midst of this situation?
Right.
You know, I remember watching America's Most Wanted at one point, and there was this predator man who had some young boy locked in a closet in a trailer, you know. And
Awful.
they found this guy, and he was all malnourished and had been a toy and a you know, essentially a slave to this guy's whims. And that's when I went, wow, thank you for protecting me from that. You know what?
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse. But so anyway, it's all relative. But the first thing, coming out and just acknowledging our part, gives God room to start doing the healing inside. That gives God the room to start doing the work. And my life has been changed for the better since we met, honestly. And it was the most, I've said this before, but I wouldn't change a thing. It was the most powerful divine appointment I've ever experienced. And I know that we have a lot ahead of us, and I'm excited for our connection and wherever God wants to take us with it. You know, that's the exciting part. The anticipation.
Thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope with that. Forgiveness is incredible. And I don't know if I've told you this. It sounds odd, but thanks for being on the freeway that night to intercept me from certain catastrophe, right?
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, that's not the way it would have gone if it wasn't the way it went, right? It sounds silly, but thank you. That's, you were, I believe today, you were in the right place at the right time. And it's a strange feeling, me also not wanting to change that moment.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't.
It was divinely orchestrated, no doubt in my mind. The timing, it's unfathomable. I can't even process how he managed to weave that together.
Right.
The timing, the promptings from him that were caused me to, with my friends earlier in the evening, to disband when we did, and to, you know, knowing I had to drop people off and then head for home. Crazy. And just all of that. And so that's the part that just brings us awe and wonder about God. Like, how does he weave these circumstances together so perfectly? Because that's really what that was.
It's and you know, it blows my mind that wasn't enough to change my trajectory, right? No human power can aid me in that. I talk about the court. The court gave me a year of jail for that. And at the time I'm thinking, like, don't they know that I'm all messed up? Like, this is way too harsh.
Wow.
It's not harsh. That's a extraordinarily lenient thing to do for a crime like that. And I tried to weave together some sobriety and serenity on my own, and those consequences weren't enough. And once they were gone, I was right back out to the races. And it's, you know, talk about how powerful God is. It wasn't until I sought God that life started to change,
Mm.
and I started to see what it
Wow.
is you're talking about. You know,
Yeah.
my part, the
Right.
power of forgiveness, power of forgiving myself,
Yes.
the
Huge.
just all of it. It's almost funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So the takeaway is gratitude. The takeaway
Absolutely.
is acknowledging that, we really can't do a whole lot of really good without the Lord.
Yeah.
And I struggle, off and on with drinking and other things too. It's easy to, oh, well, I didn't have any problem with one or
Totally.
two drinks, and then
Yep.
it turns into 4, and then you have the hangover, and it's like, oh, okay, back, I just
Pull
bumped
it
off
back.
the rail.
Yeah.
And now it's
Yeah.
back. Okay, I'm going to be good and take care of my body
No,
and get back into my vitamin regime.
Yep.
And, and yet it's a constant thing.
Yep. It's constant.
Yeah, and I try not to condemn alcohol as an institution, right? But
Right.
for me, if I could have a drink or two, I would. But when I have a drink or two, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no evidence to suggest that I can drink like a normal person. I have evidence to suggest that I might end up on the wrong side of the freeway and potentially kill a family of 4 if you're not there.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
But I have no evidence to suggest. But then even with that, I can't stop. Can't stop on my own. Need God.
Yeah.
Need God.
Non-negotiable.
Wow.
Amen.
It's crazy. It's his kindness that leads to repentance.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
So
and
good.
we experience his kindness every time we
Yeah.
stop and really make room to examine our circumstances, our heart condition, our situation we put ourselves into again. It's like, it's his grace is sufficient.
Yeah.
We just have to make room for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy.
The whole
I
thing
mean,
is insane.
yeah. I mean, even like back before the crash, like the war zone, seeing these blown up people, like I just don't understand how you dealt with that or how people deal with that, because for me, I am like a very sensitive person. Like I would be crying all the time. I'd be like, what is going on? Like I'd be freaking out. Like, how are these people not? I mean, you guys probably were freaking out, but
not really. I don't think many of us were attached to the reality of the situation. I think we had built up these emotional and psychological defense mechanisms. And, a lot of those guys that I knew, my fellow Marines, they're dead now because of, self-inflicted gunshot wounds, one bad night of drinking, whatever it might be. There are only a few of them that are whole, happy people.
Wow.
And one commonality between them is they have God. Those people have God. Wow. I don't know if the ones that aren't here anymore didn't or did, but I know the ones that are around have God.
Wow.
But it's a feat to process any of that stuff. But I think you'd be surprised how well a human being can kind of block off the reality of something bad happening. It's in our nature, I think.
It's a self-protective mechanism that starts from the moment we're born and experience pain or trauma or disappointment, all these things. We start building this brick wall around our hearts. And I have never been in that kind of an environment, but I can understand exactly. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. Reinforce that wall.
Well, like you said, it's all relative, right? You don't have to be in that kind of environment to reinforce that wall.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, and I didn't know it was happening. I didn't know that this was something bothering me until well after the car accident.
Wow.
Until I got to rehab and got honest. That's what it took, is being honest with myself.
Right.
I could be honest with you, but it's still a lie because it's not coming from self-honesty.
Wow.
So until I got honest with myself and admitted to my large ego that like, I'm not okay with this. This bothers me. And kind of, there was no way I was going to grow without getting honest with myself. And Now I'm not haunted by so much by these things. Like I have God.
Yeah.
I have my life, and I get to use experiences like driving my car on the wrong side of the freeway as a force for good.
Yeah.
Share those things, share that experience, strength, and hope. Maybe somebody struggling will identify with that.
Absolutely.
And I can gain their trust. And then I can help them to recover from their insanity with the help of God and introduce them to this way of life that I try to walk. And instead of having it be the worst day ever, in a twisted way, it can be the best day ever.
Yep.
Which isn't,
So
again,
good.
it's an odd thing. And I don't want it to sound like I'm not remorseful or sorry, right?
Right.
But overall, I'm thankful.
Yes.
Above all of it, I'm thankful.
Wow.
That's so good.
Well, that is you went through all that for your testimony to help people who are going through similar things or, so wow, it's just amazing. And you speak so well. You both look like you have not been in a crazy car accident, head-on collision. You both look good.
Jonathan was healed.
We were both healed, just at different paces.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we went into it, but this isn't a poor me thing, but I broke both femurs. They were legs snapped in half, bones sticking out of my body. My kneecap was shattered.
Ugh.
This leg was broken, toe was broken, all my ribs were broken. I've got this, gnarly missing shoulder situation, forehead's titanium in the shoulder. Like it's elbow. I wasn't really expected to function normally. But again, like you were saying, that's usually the worst case scenario they present. And especially now that I'm kind of living in the light of the Spirit, I feel great. I have some pain, sure, but I think I don't want it to go away. I don't ever want to forget what happened.
Wow.
And how it affected me,
Wow.
But I was healed too in a different way.
Yeah. You're a walking miracle just from the physical stuff, that whole thing with the finger and the fact that you play the piano, and I thought that was
Crazy.
such a beautiful.
Is this the finger?
Yeah. This is the finger. You can see
right here.
Yeah. Where it was kind of hanging off and it still likes to run away. But yeah, I have these insane photos my family snuck into the operating room. But it's like, whoa, it's not a person, that's a corpse. And I had this, it's like you mentioned it on your testimony. There just happened to be this doctor walking by the room.
Crazy.
We like to call them the Grey's Anatomy dream team. Like it was absurd. Talk about miracles lining up on your way home, dropping just to be in the right place at the right time.
Wow.
These surgeons just happened to be working that night. All these world-class guys that were so absolutely stoked to do this crazy rebuild on me. And it didn't matter to them that I was a wrong way freeway driver. They were just doing, they took the Hippocratic Oath. It's like they were helping me. And it's insane. The guy that did Michael Jordan's stuff did my elbow. These insanely talented surgeons were just all there, right place, right time. Wow. Insurance paid for it. It was a $2 million bill. You got that part right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, just, when I look at the miracles that God was lining up and knocking down over this whole thing, it's hard to believe that I didn't see it until I saw it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's so good.
That is so crazy. It's so good. Wow.
Yeah, the ripples continue. But yeah, it was just amazing to me hearing these pieces, and really got a beautiful note from your mom at one point that just really hit home.
She loves you so much.
I love her too. Yeah. Hi, Mom. She was just thanking me, and really the gist of that letter was, my son's in the backyard. It's my birthday. He's cooking for me. There's love. There's communication. And she said, I know that this wouldn't be happening if it hadn't have been for you. Like, and
Wow.
it's not, she was just saying thank you. Before this, I really didn't understand the power of forgiveness.
Wow.
I had to think about that. Like, what? Forgiveness? Oh, well, I guess she's talking about me. Like, I didn't, it was so strange not to even think like that. Forgiveness was like just an automatic piece that had been forged, like I said, forged in me from other experiences that God allowed me to walk through
Yeah.
leading up to this time, this moment. And so I really know deep down, I know that it was very deliberate. Our connecting was very deliberate by God, So, and there was a resounding message for both of us in that he's not done with us yet, right? So, I mean, there's purpose in all of this.
Yeah.
So seeking that out is going to be fun.
Crazy.
On the forgiveness side, it's funny, like resentments are the opposite of forgiveness, right? And that's how I lived my life for a long time, in the resentments. And it's like it's like taking poison and expecting someone else to get hurt when you have this resentment.
Right.
And it's so intuitive now that that's not the way. But when you get stuck in that resentful mindset, it feels like the only way. And yeah, you showed my mom the power of forgiveness. She's a lot healthier, more happy,
Wow.
and whole than she would have been if that didn't happen.
Right.
That you talk about that ripple effect.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So I still oscillate between living in a little shame and guilt over this. And then when I open myself up, I'm like, okay, I have to let that go. I can't resent myself anymore for this. And in doing that, I am able to seek a relationship with you, which is, I think, the most incredible part about all of this is that we can sit here and alone and talk, which is, when I tell people that in my life, they're like in disbelief. I'm in disbelief.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such an amazing setup, and not by us,
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so there's an opportunity there to produce more good fruit together. I mean, that's, and it doesn't have to look like a book, and it doesn't have to look like some financial windfall, world tour or anything like that. No golden records. Just, getting the testimony. That's priceless. The testimony is priceless.
Any opportunity to share our experience, strength, and hope together and talk about how God works in our lives is a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a book or a podcast or whatever it might be, I'm open to it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we don't know what that looks like yet, but it's going to be a fun adventure.
It's just amazing. It's literally, I feel like you guys have known each other your whole lives, just back and forth. He can almost be your son.
I know, right? Well, Dad?
Dad, is that you?
Well,
wow.
They speak about relationships, spiritual relationships as spiritual moms and dads.
Yeah.
And I did get a head start on you with my walk, so I do know that there are things that I can share. But it always works both ways. Even as I'm inspired to share something that God has taught me over the years, when I speak it out, it automatically ministers right back to me.
Yeah.
In a new way, in a new layer, in a new perspective that I hadn't considered before. So it's always nurturing. As we pour out, it pours back into us.
Absolutely.
It's really an amazing kingdom dynamic, is what you would call that if you were speaking Christianese.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I do notice that when I'm in situations where I don't feel my best, or I feel down or depressed, or I'm going through something or whatever, being there for somebody else, like praying for somebody or speaking life into somebody.
Yeah.
like allowing God to use me, like just it like hits me right. It like hits me right back at me, just like it reflects and it just like it ministers to me.
Yes.
And then literally in seconds, all of the depression, all the, it's like lifted off of me.
Yeah.
So I think that's so cool.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. I want to also say I've been sober for 2 years, right? So
praise the Lord.
Exactly. But within that, you were talking about one of the key principles I practice to stay sober, which is to get out of myself, my own woes, my despairs, my sorrows, and help somebody else.
Yeah.
And that happens to be where I feel God most often and most strongly, is when I'm not thinking about me.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about someone else, purely just trying to help them, that's it. That's the stuff. That's the sauce. That's the sweet spot.
That's the sauce. I love it.
And yeah, it's incredible what that can do, and how poisonous being in self and in my own will can be contrasted, but just getting out of that. And it's as simple as making a call and asking someone, how are you, and listening, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
so good.
Getting out of I love that you talked about that. That's the key component in how I'm not drunk right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It really just, it's so easy to sit and wallow in how you're feeling, or want to drink, or want to take a pill, or it's so easy. The enemy makes it so easy to just decide, like, I'm going to drink a bottle of alcohol today, and I'm going to take this pill or whatever, he's so annoying, the enemy.
He lives in here too.
Yeah. He's just constantly. So when you are not thinking about yourself, and when you are, just, I don't want to say like trying to be a good person, because obviously we want to be good people, but I think people take that weirdly. But, just trying to live a genuine, kind life, right?
A life of service, right?
A life of service. Yeah. Thank you. Exactly. It just is so much better. And it does keep your mind away from the distractions that the enemy tries to, because you're too busy like feeling the Lord's presence, feeling good for serving others, that the enemy just he doesn't really have any room,
Yeah. And it's like my will. We were talking about our will. Like my will is bad. My will is trash. My will has taken me to really bad places. And so when I'm trying to operate within that, I can almost assuredly not trust it every single time. But what's God's will?
Right.
God's will is good. God's will is taking me to good places, helping people. So if I can find that line and separate them and know when I'm operating in my own will, which is when I get those thoughts like, whether it's with drugs and alcohol or sexual or whatever it might be, that's my will. And that's destined to take me to a place that I don't want to go to.
Right.
But God's will, on the other hand, it's the good stuff.
It's the good stuff. Yeah. And I want to encourage you, even though you probably already do this, but because some people kind of early on in their relationship with the Lord, they'll pray at night or in the morning at night. But when I even get a thought in my mind now, the second the thought comes inside of my brain, whether, I want to like take a pill, or I want to drink, or I want to do something sexual or whatever, the second that thought comes into my head, I even out loud sometimes, like, I'm sending that to the cross. Like, Lord, take this thought. Like it says in the Bible, to take our thoughts captive, right? Because they're constantly there. But the faster when I get a thought or an idea of something that's not from God, I immediately say, Lord, take it away. I send this to the feet of the cross for you to deal with. I am not, and I talk to God like he's literally my best friend, who's literally like right here, like with us right now. Cause he is, right? Yeah. Yep. So I'm just constantly, it doesn't have to be like long drawn out prayers, like, Lord, take away these thoughts. And it could be.
Well, I was told a prayer could be as simple as thank you, God. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
All day.
I got the foxhole prayer memorized, right? Help me, God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I say that all the time. And you talked about take this thought. And
Yeah.
if I'm not willing to not
it
do
go?
the thing,
Oh,
pray
yeah.
for the willingness to let that thing go. Because
Yeah.
for me, it all starts with just being willing. If I'm not
Yes.
willing, like you mentioned,
Yep.
I'm closed off. I can't do it. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
It's not just at night in the morning. It's
Right. Good.
when needed.
So good.
It's
So-
when needed.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's a constant battle.
Yeah, it is.
We're fighting against our flesh, right? So
Mhm.
the word talks about this, like our flesh is weak.
Yeah.
And
So weak.
if we feed it with sin,
Right.
the wages of sin is death.
Yeah.
It starts with a small thing,
Yep.
and then it makes the next thing easier and so forth. And
Yeah.
it becomes a very steep, slippery slope that is, once we start into it, it's incredibly difficult to fight our way back before we end up in a situation we don't want to be in. And that's just the facts and the reality. So that, anyway, knowing that part of our nature, one prayer that's a really good one is, God, give me the discernment. So this is a Christianese word.
Yeah.
Discernment.
Love that word.
Is the ability to recognize
Right.
the moment, like
The
you're
truth.
saying, the moment that you realize that someone's whispering into your flesh and trying to get it to rise up above your spirit, man. So we have a spirit man that, as we feed that part of our soul and our spirit, that we can be basically like a teeter-totter. If we can keep our spirit man stronger than our flesh, then we are going to be a lot more successful in life, a lot more fruitful, a lot more helpful in service. And the fulfillment, the sense of purpose and fulfillment gets increased with each choice each moment where we overcome that flesh with a better plan. So, yeah.
So good.
I like the idea that we're fighting our flesh. That's good.
It's crazy. We're like fighting
real.
ourselves.
It's real.
Literally.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So we're 3-part beings according to the word.
Yep.
Spirit, soul, and body.
Yeah.
And you have experience coming out of your body.
I have.
Crazy.
And during that head-on collision, if not other times, but that can happen from ODing, that can happen from other traumatic experiences. But recognizing and realizing that there's this whole other realm. If you're not in heaven and you're in the spirit realm, but not in your earth suit, that's what I like to call our bodies, then we're in what they call the second heaven, which is the spirit realm outside of the grace of heaven and the protection of heaven.
Yeah.
And that's a very scary place to be, because many people who find themselves in that place can actually see the demonic and angelic realms, either at war with each other, or can see the demonic all around us, targeting us. And these are real things in the spirit world. The good versus the evil. And
crazy.
Anyway, so I know it sounds a little crazy.
I know
I've
does.
experienced it.
Yeah.
I don't think it sounds crazy, but to people who haven't experienced it,
True.
I know that before I had experienced it or recognized it to be what it was. Yeah, you're an insane person. I can't listen to you. And it's different now.
Yeah.
I thought this was a cool quote from C.S. Lewis. It says, "You don't have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body."
I love that.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
They put that up on the screen at my church the other night, and I was like, I have to take a picture of that.
It's a good one.
It's like so true, because it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, I have a soul, like I have a spirit.
Yeah.
But like that's what we are, and this is just a temporary body, a vessel that we live in.
So
It's crazy.
A kind of a very general way to feed our spirit man, to stay on that strength side of good choices. I've heard it described as a 3-legged stool, and you need all 3 of these legs in order not to fall over. And one of them is reading the word. The other one is being in fellowship.
Yep.
and connecting with people who are also celebrating God and
Yeah.
striving for a better life and lifestyle and more fruitful.
Mm,
And the third one is prayer, actually talking to God, like,
so
you know,
good.
and we can do that without moving our lips, but
Yep.
it's good to pray and speak out loud because
Yeah.
God has given us this power
Mm-hmm.
of prophetic utterance. Things that we verbalize have momentum behind them to bring things to come to pass, and that can
Yeah.
work both favorably and against us. So we have to be really careful. And the word says, you know, the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Yeah.
Like we can literally
Yep.
speak life over people,
Yep.
speak healing over people,
Mm-hmm.
and it has momentum and impact on that person and their welfare.
Yeah.
So,
And it's so true. Like the power is in the tongue, like even speaking death. Oh, even over yourself. Like I'm so stupid or I'm
right,
ugly or as a
yeah.
girl, like I'm fat or, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently stopped doing that because there's so much power in words, you know?
Yeah.
And it just, now when I say like, oh, I feel fat, I instantly am like, no, just need to work out a little bit more, you know? So yeah, there's so much power. I mean, I don't know if you've like looked up, like when you're reading the Bible, like looking up the Hebrew meanings, and then like the Hebrew letters have like meanings as well to those letters. And then they have numbers, which also mean stuff. It's just, it blows my mind to really study the word and to like dive deep into the original language, because it's like so profound. It's so much more.
Yeah.
It's so much more than what we
English.
think it is. Yeah. We're just like, oh, like, you know.
I like that, like not the power of positive thought, not being mean to yourself. And I would even take it a step further. Like I need to work out. I could work out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I could work out.
Yeah.
That helps me a lot, because when I say I need to do this or I'm not, I put so much pressure on myself to be this way or to do these things. And it's like, who says I need to? Like I could. Would that make me happier? Probably.
Yeah.
Then I have like a healthy motivation to do something rather than like a, you know, societally constructed motivation to do something. And
that's good.
It just feels better. It just feels better.
That's so good.
But I love that. Yeah.
So good.
Words are affirmations, and
absolutely,
we could knock ourselves down real good if we want to.
Yeah. 100%. Wow. Oh my gosh.
So good.
I am so excited to see what the Lord does with you and with you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just know he loves to reward his children. And just the fact that you opened the door and let him in, and, you know, you're seeking him, and how off-putting it was to you, you know, in the beginning before.
It was uncomfortable before.
Yeah.
And even while I was trying to obtain the willingness to, you know, it was uncomfortable, but he's there for those who seek every time.
He has a very special place for you in his Father's house. He says, there are many mansions in my Father's house. Wow, that's so cool. Wow.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what that looks like. But
I know.
We have a short season here on the earth to make a difference, and a very long time to watch reruns. So
I will say it certainly does feel like better to have what I would describe as a purpose once making this connection, which is just, if anything, sharing that through the method I like to call the method of attraction, attracting people to the way that you feel, the way you live, the relationship you have, and maybe they'll be more inclined to seek it. And you just get to spread the good, and it's good stuff, and it feels better than whatever I was doing before.
Oh, absolutely.
so true.
So good.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. I don't even know you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm excited for you. And wow, it's just amazing. You're half robot.
Yeah, kind of like a cyborg. I set off the metal detectors at all the places.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I go into the federal building in LA, they're like waving a wand, kind of looking at me sideways, like, what's in here? And I'm
You're like, just
yeah, they're like, take your pants off. I'm like, dude, nothing's in there. It's metal.
wow.
Yeah.
What a cool story. Just amazing.
Walking miracle, bro.
Literally.
too.
I love you, man. I
love you too.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It's been nice to connect. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Since I moved to LA,
Well-
I haven't been around very much, but
You were still a work
junkie.
in process.
yeah.
And so there's right timing for all of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. If we had rushed into it before now, maybe we wouldn't have had something like this.
It may have certainly been more challenging to come into a place of full functionality with what God has intended to do with us. And so not getting ahead of him is a really important thing, discerning thing to learn too.
Right.
Like if you don't have a clear direction from God, the default should be stand down. And that's something my earthly father taught me from the scripture, what the word says. And that's important too. We can want to please God and get ourselves into all kinds of trouble trying to do that.
Yeah.
And very often he just wants us to relax and get close to him. Just be still. Learn how to be still with the Lord and listen. You know, just like you say, listening to somebody else. Pick up the phone, ask them how they're doing,
Right.
and then actually listen. And then you will develop that connection.
I can't be in myself if I'm listening to you. It's
Right.
impossible. And if I am, then I'm not doing a very good job at listening to you.
Yeah. So it's so important to connect with people.
Yeah.
Really,
it
all we
is.
have to do is listen.
Connect, listen, pray for an intuitive thought, and then just take the next right indicated action without getting too far ahead.
Yep.
That's what I like to do.
Sounds
So
like
good.
a plan.
Well, I'm excited.
Yep.
I'm excited about this podcast, about your guys' lives, and seeing if you guys, do that book. Maybe
We'll do some.
Maybe do the tour. I mean, I'm, not you should do the tour, but who knows what God has? You just never know.
Right.
That's the exciting thing about doing life with Jesus, is that you just you never know what he has up his sleeve.
Never. Hey, we could do halftime shows for the Chris Tomlin concerts.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Or whatever. You know, there's so many. There was actually, we don't want to put a picture on it. We're going to let him show us. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. It's so good. I know. I still don't know what I'm doing.
Thank you.
Nobody does.
Good.
I wanted to say thank you for putting yourself out there.
Oh.
That, the word says those who openly speak of the Lord goes on our behalf before the Father in heaven.
Right.
And that's, I realize is, when you're not doing it for that reason, but because you love God and you've seen him do these amazing things, and you're full of gratitude, right?
Yep.
And that comes out in the way you present. And the world needs more JCon podcasts, that's for sure.
Thanks.
It's a powerful and wonderful thing you're doing. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm here to cheer you on from the sidelines, or come back and get into some dialogue about different aspects of our walk with the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that if I do that, it'll make me stronger.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you for the encouragement. I know like I just said, I have no idea what God has for me because I really don't, I have no idea what the rest of my life looks like. I don't know if it's,
And that's by design.
That'd be no fun if you did.
I know. That's so true. I know.
By his design. Yeah.
I know.
He wants us to live in the moment. Each
Totally.
day, one day to the next.
Totally.
Live in the moment. Start the morning off with good morning, Lord.
Yep.
If we can get in that habit, all the other pieces will fall into place.
So good.
And the moment's the only thing that's real.
That's right.
So true.
Future hasn't happened yet.
The past is done.
Past is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it sounds like Kung Fu
So
Panda.
good.
What is that old turtle? What does he say?
I've never seen it.
Me either.
He said, the past is history. The future, a mystery. All we have is now. That's why they call it
a present. That's
I
right.
love that.
I actually had. That's so funny. I wonder
It's
if
true. It's a great saying.
I wonder if my friend got that from Kung Fu Panda. My old friend, he used to say that all the time, and I'm like, that is so cool.
I've been told that Kung Fu Panda is a really wise movie, a really smart, wise.
Wow, I might have to.
I might have to check it out.
Me too.
It's fun.
Plug
It's
for Kung Fu
playful.
Panda.
Yes, it's good, wholesome entertainment.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Emmett, for coming and just being bold enough to share your testimony.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm just really excited that you love Jesus now and that this has like all just become just such a wonderful act of God, that just, it could have gone one or two ways.
Yeah.
And he hunted you down and you started seeking him and here we are now.
Here we are.
So amazing.
And thanks, Jonathan, again. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for making this happen.
Happy to be a part of this story that
So cool.
unfolding here.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that crazy testimony. I call it crazy because I just can't imagine going through anything like that, but
it's crazy.
It is.
It is crazy. Thank you.
Crazy good.
Like I kind of felt bad for saying crazy.
No.
Crazy good.
No, it's insane.
Yeah,
You're all
it's
right.
just insane. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you, Emmett, for joining me. Jonathan, thank you again. We'll have to do it again sometime. Talk
Sounds
about
good.
some more stuff.
Yep.
And I hope you guys have a beautiful day today. I will be down in Los Angeles next week, filming multiple episodes for the JCon podcast. So get ready for those. And we will see you next week on the JCon podcast. Have a good day. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the JCon podcast. We are so grateful to have you. If you guys are in the San Luis Obispo area in the beautiful Central Coast, California, and are looking to host an event or party, this is the place for you. I'm going to leave all the information in the description below, and you can go ahead and check out the website. And if you're interested, there will be an email on the website for you to reach out to. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and thank you again for watching the JCon podcast. God bless you.